My cheating secret was exposed by Superglue. Meet the wife who thought she had the perfect secret life. With her husband constantly traveling for work, she found solace and excitement in a series of affairs, escalating to elaborate tissome parties hosted in their opulent home. She was meticulous, confident, and believed herself untouchable, carefully erasing every trace of her double life. But what she didn't know was that her husband wasn't clueless. He was watching, documenting, and meticulously planning a terrifying revenge. The elaborate trap was set, culminating in a horrifying night when her lube was replaced with superglue, sending her and her lovers to the ER and exposing her deepest secrets to the world. As her life spirals into public humiliation, legal ruin, and total isolation, she grapples with the chilling realization that her calculated betrayal was met with an even more calculated, utterly cold, and devastating destruction of her entire existence. This is the story of how a year of secret infidelity led to a lifetime of inescapable consequences, orchestrated by the man she thought she had fooled. Chapter 1: The Weight of My Empty Life. They say we had it all. The sprawling apartment with the city skyline view, the designer clothes hanging in my walk-in closet, the kind of bank account that makes you stop actually looking at the prices. My husband, Mark, was the golden boy of international sales. Tokyo, London, Dubai, his life was a first-class itinerary. And the money? It was obscene. For 7 years we painted this picture of the perfect marriage, the power couple living the dream. But dreams can feel awfully hollow when you're living them alone. Mark was gone. Not just for days but weeks. 2 weeks every month were a given, sometimes stretching into 3. And in that vast, silent apartment, 20 nights a month felt like an eternity. He'd call between power lunches and client dinners, his voice buzzing with deals and deadlines, while I'd be there in my pajamas, staring at a half-eaten bowl of cereal for dinner. Again. It just started to break. I'm not making excuses. There's no justification for what I did. But when you're that isolated, that unseen, something shifts. It started 18 months ago. A hotel bar after some forgettable work event. This guy, he was younger, all sculpted muscle like he lived at the gym. But the thing that caught me? He was actually listening to me. Not to Mark's endless business jargon, not to the logistics of his next trip, not to which Michelin-starred restaurant we should maybe try if he was back for a fleeting 36 hours. He was interested in me. I knew it was wrong the moment I went to his room. I knew it was wrong when I gave him my number, that little secret burner I told myself was just for emergencies. And I knew it was undeniably, irrevocably wrong when I texted him the next time Mark's flight took off for Singapore. But that wrongness, it was like a twisted kind of fuel. The adrenaline when I heard a floorboard creak in the hallway, the heart-pounding rush of sneaking him out before dawn, the raw, intense connection with someone who wasn't jet-lagged and emotionally distant. I told myself it would be a one-time thing. Then maybe twice. Then just with him. But once you've crossed that line, what does it even matter if it's one guy or 2 or 3? Chapter 2: The System and the Parties. By 6 months in, my life was a meticulously planned operation. If I was already crossing lines, what difference did one guy or 2 or 3 even make? I had a system. My husband's travel schedule? I knew it months in advance. I had a separate phone hidden deep in a tampon box, the ultimate camouflage, right? I had my regulars, guys who knew the drill, and new additions from apps and bars cycling through. The thrill of it all was addictive. And then came the suggestion that changed everything: why not make it a group thing? And honestly, in my twisted head I thought, why the F*** not? The first party was just me and 2 guys I'd been seeing separately. We started small, using the guest room, and I spent the entire next day deep cleaning. Every surface scrubbed, every scent eradicated. I was terrified Mark would notice something. But he came home, gave me a perfunctory kiss, complained about airline food, and passed out for 12 hours. He never suspected a thing. That's when I got cocky. Why hide in the guest room when our king-sized bed was so much bigger? Why use cheap wine when we had bottles of expensive tequila? Why not use the luxurious toys Mark had bought me for our anniversary? The parties escalated. 3 guys, sometimes 4, different combinations. I had my rules. Nobody from work, nobody who knew Mark. Always use protection. Never the same group twice in a row. I thought I was so damn smart. I became a master of erasing evidence. Professional-level cleaning was my new hobby. Sheets washed, dried, and back on the bed with hospital corners. Every glass washed by hand. Messages deleted. Browser history cleared. I even bought the same cologne Mark wore and sprayed it around the apartment afterward, just to seal the deal. My friends knew not everything but enough. Girl, be careful, they'd warn. What if he finds out? But he was never going to find out. He was too busy, too tired, too trusting. When he was home, I played the perfect wife, cooked his favorite meals, wore the lingerie he liked, listened to his endless work stories. We'd have decent, routine sex and he'd tell me he loved me. And I'd feel absolutely nothing, just counting down the minutes until he left again. Chapter 3: The Unseen Watcher. The last year was my peak. I was hosting parties almost every trip Mark took. I had a rotating roster of 8 or 9 guys, some regulars who understood the arrangement, others new additions from apps or bars. The thrill was everything: the planning, the anticipation, the act itself, the meticulous cleanup, and the delicious secret. I felt powerful, completely in control, utterly desired. Looking back, I should have seen the changes. Like how Mark stopped asking what I did while he was gone. He used to be so curious even if I brushed him off. Or how he didn't even comment when I'd buy new lingerie, the kind he used to love. He started taking shorter trips, but then he'd stay at airport hotels, claiming he needed to catch up on work. That should have been a huge red flag. And then there were the stares. Sometimes he'd just look at me. His eyes would hold this expression I couldn't read. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It wasn't sadness. It was just blank. I'd ask, "Everything okay, babe?" And he'd always say, "Perfect. Just tired." His voice was so calm, too calm now that I think about it. I honestly thought I was getting away with it. I believed he was clueless, completely immersed in his international deals and jet lag. I was so incredibly, monumentally wrong. Every perfect moment, every "I love you," every goodbye kiss, it was all part of his elaborate play. He wasn't clueless. He wasn't tired. He was watching. He was planning. And I was walking right into his trap. Chapter 4: The Superglue Trap. 2 weeks ago, he told me he had a last-minute trip to Miami. Big client, urgent deal, might even extend through the weekend. I kissed him goodbye, waved him off in the Uber, and before his car even reached the airport, my fingers were flying across my burner phone. Friday night was on. I'd set up 2 new guys from an app. One, a bartender covered in tattoos, the other, some kind of crypto bro with abs you could wash clothes on. Not my usual type, but they seemed fun. Both verified, both tested, both down for the group thing. I went all out. Candles flickering everywhere, the silk sheets Mark bought me for our anniversary, the perfect playlist, every toy meticulously cleaned and arranged. I even broke out the expensive tequila. And because I'm apparently that messed up, I wore the wedding night lingerie. They arrived at 9 o'clock. Drinks, small talk, the tension building. By 10 o'clock we were in the bedroom. Everything was perfect. The chemistry was electric. Everyone knew their role. I reached for the lube. The same bottle we always used. The one Mark swore was premium and worth every penny. I didn't check it. Why would I? It was in the same spot, looked the same, even felt the same weight. The burn started almost immediately. Not the good kind, not the warming sensation advertised on the bottle. This was wrong. Like acid. Like fire. But it was already too late. The bartender screamed first. The crypto bro tried to pull away and couldn't. I felt my skin tearing. The smell hit me next. Chemical, wrong, burning. We were stuck. Literally things superglued together. The panic was indescribable. 3 naked strangers, glued together by our genitals, screaming, crying, trying not to move because every movement was agony. The bartender was hyperventilating. The crypto bro was cursing in 3 languages. I was sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe. Somehow, I managed to call 911 from the phone on the nightstand. Try explaining that to a dispatcher. We need an ambulance. 3 people. We're stuck together. Superglue. Please hurry. The EMTs had to call for backup. Then the police came because it was a suspicious incident. Then building management because of the noise complaints. They had to carry us out on a special gurney, still connected, with just sheets thrown over us. Every single neighbor was in the hallway, staring. Someone was recording. I heard later it went viral on TikTok before getting removed for nudity. At the hospital they called in specialists. Chemical burns. Skin grafts. The crypto bros, member, was so damaged he needed emergency surgery. The bartender might have permanent scarring. They shot me full of painkillers but nothing helped. It took 4 agonizing hours to separate us safely. A nurse finally gave me my phone once I was stable. Dozens of missed calls. Hundreds of texts. My social media blowing up. The video had already spread everywhere before being taken down. With shaking hands I called my husband. He answered on the first ring. "Hey babe," he said. His voice was calm. Too calm. Chapter 5: The Confession and Unraveling. "How's your night going?" he asked. His voice was calm. Too calm. I'm at the hospital, I sobbed. Something terrible happened. Someone switched the lube with superglue. I could have died. Please come home. Please. Silence. A chilling, heavy silence. Then he said two words that froze my blood. I know. My breath hitched. What? I said, I know what happened. He repeated, his voice still terrifyingly even. I've known everything for months. Every party. Every guy. Every time you used our bed. My mind reeled. Oh. The cameras, he stated as if discussing the weather. The ones I installed for security while I travel. They upload to the cloud. I've watched it all. Documented everything. Your little cleaning routine. Your fake orgasms with strangers in positions you won't even try with me. That thing you do where you smell my pillow afterward like you miss me. Oscar-worthy performance. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. The Switzerland trip in March? I was at the airport hotel, he continued, his voice picking up a chilling, methodical pace. The Tokyo conference? Cancelled it. Stayed at my brother's place downtown. I've been investigating you like an effing case study. Screenshots. Videos. Credit card records. That second phone you hide in the tampon box? I've been reading those messages for 6 months. Why didn't you confront me? Divorce me like a normal person? I screamed, my voice raw. Because that would be too easy. Too clean. You needed to understand consequences. You needed to feel what I felt. So you tried to kill me? He actually laughed. A cold, humorless sound. Kill you? I used medical-grade skin adhesive. Surgical superglue. It's designed for human tissue. Hurts like hell. Causes superficial damage but ultimately safe. I researched for weeks. Tested it on myself first. I'm not a monster. I'm just better at planning than you are. This is insane. This is assault. I'll call the police. With what proof? He countered, unfazed. The bottle's already gone. Replaced with the original while you were at the hospital. The cameras show you hosting a consensual party. Nothing shows me even being in town. I have receipts proving I was in Miami. My client will vouch for our dinner meetings. You can't do this. I whispered, my voice breaking. It's already done. Check your bank account. With shaking fingers, I pulled up our joint accounts. Empty. Investment accounts? Empty. Everything transferred or withdrawn. That's illegal. Joint property. I took exactly half of our liquid assets, he said, cutting me off. The other half. Well, crypto bro is talking about suing. Bartender already lawyered up. Your job found out when someone sent them the video. Check your email. My work email had one new message. Subject, termination. Effective immediately. I own the apartment, I whispered, desperate. You own half the apartment. With a mortgage you can't afford alone. And who's going to rent to someone whose sex tape went viral? Someone who might get sued into bankruptcy? You planned all this, every detail, for months. While you were planning your parties, I was planning your ending. Difference is, I'm better at it. I'm your wife. You loved me. Loved? Past tense, he stated, utterly devoid of emotion. That love died. What you're talking to now. This is what's left. This is what you created. We're done. Divorce papers will be filed Monday. I've already moved my things. Don't try to contact me. Don't show up at my work. Don't call my family. You wanted to be single so bad? Congratulations. You're single. Then, as an afterthought, his voice dropped slightly, a final, cold punch. Oh, and one more thing. That bartender you were with, the one screaming about his burn D******, that's my cousin's boyfriend. She knows now. The whole family knows. Good luck at Christmas. He hung up. Just like that. Chapter 6: The Bitter Aftermath and Legal Battle. That was 2 weeks ago. Since that call, everything he predicted has come true. Fired. Sued. Viral humiliation. My friends won't answer, my family's disappointed, and my apartment's in foreclosure. I'm sleeping on a couch at the one friend who'll still talk to me. He's gone completely. Changed his number, blocked me everywhere. His company says he's on sabbatical. I keep replaying it, how he watched for months and never broke. He's exactly who I thought he was. Controlled, methodical, patient. I just never thought those qualities would be turned against me. I thought I was smart, but I was just another stupid cheater who got caught. Except most cheaters just get divorced. They don't get chemically burned, publicly humiliated, and systematically destroyed. A month later, the full story came out. He surfaced through his lawyer, fighting the divorce not to stay married, but to make sure I get absolutely nothing. His lawyer submitted 147 pages of documentation. Screenshots, transcripts, financial records, even a freaking PowerPoint presentation of my infidelity. He made graphs of my cheating patterns, charts showing frequency, partner counts. But the worst part was the videos. Not just SX videos. He edited a highlight reel. Me kissing these guys in our kitchen, laughing about how clueless he was, using his grandmother's antique bed frame. And after each clip, it cut to him in his hotel room, watching live on his laptop, his face completely emotionless, taking notes like a science experiment. He saved everything. Every message, every photo, every credit card charge for lingerie I never wore for him. He even had recordings of me on the phone with friends, laughing about my dumb husband, who thought I was at book club. In one, I said he was so gone I forgot I was married. The timestamp showed Mark was 3 blocks away listening live. He didn't just document my cheating. He documented its escalation. The progression from lonely housewife to hosting gangbangs. He knew about the pregnancy scare and the plan B I took. He was in the pharmacy parking lot, watching, taking notes. All those times I thought he was distant due to work stress? He was processing my betrayal. All those times he seemed too tired for sex? He'd already watched me have it with others. All those times he said he loved me? He was saying goodbye. His brother told me the full story. Mark suspected a year ago, hired a PI. But instead of confronting me, he spent that year planning this. He researched legal implications, consulted lawyers in 3 states, studied chemical properties of medical adhesives, even tested them on pig skin. He scheduled his fake trips around my ovulation cycle because he'd figured out I was hornier then. He learned my patterns better than I knew them myself. The night of the superglue, he was in the apartment the whole time. In the panic room we'd installed, watching. He heard every scream. Saw every moment of agony. He didn't leave until the EMTs were in the elevator, then slipped out a service entrance and was on a plane to Miami, establishing his alibi. His brother showed me one page from his journal, written the night he confirmed my cheating. She wants to play games. I'll show her how the game ends. A year. He planned my destruction for a year, smiled at me, sent me flowers, all while building my prison brick by brick. The legal battles are crushing me. Both guys are suing for medical costs and emotional damages. My ex is suing for intentional infliction of emotional distress, claiming I exposed him to STD risks. My career is over, the video spread. I've been blacklisted, living back home with my parents at 31, Superglue S***** meme on Reddit. He could have just divorced me. I would have gotten half moved on. Instead, he let me destroy myself, gave me enough rope to hang myself, and then kicked the chair out at the perfect moment. He didn't ruin my life. He set up the dominoes and let me knock them down. That blank face, watching me betray him without emotion, that's what haunts me. I killed whatever part of him could feel. And in return he killed my entire life. Chapter 7: Rock Bottom and Glimmers of Truth. 6 months after the incident, Rock Bottom had a basement. The lawsuits destroyed me. The bartender got $500,000. The crypto bro $1.2 million. My ex got $300,000 for intentional infliction of emotional distress and fraud. I declared bankruptcy, but it didn't matter. Some debts can't be discharged. I'll be paying these men for the rest of my life. 25% of any income one ever make goes to them. Forever. I work at a gas station now, night shift. My face is too recognizable for day shift. Even with a mask, people know. Hey, aren't you the superglue chick? At least twice a week. I make $11 an hour. After garnishments, I take home $6.50. My parents kicked me out after they got tired of reporters showing up. I moved into a studio apartment in the worst part of town. The landlord only rented to me because he thought he could use me. When I said no, he started eviction, claiming I was disturbing other tenants. But that's not why I'm here. 2 weeks ago I saw him. My ex. At a Whole Foods, of all places, with her. The new wife. She's everything I'm not. Elegant, classy, the kind of woman who doesn't have strangers in her husband's bed. And she was pregnant. Very pregnant. He saw me. I know he did. Our eyes met across the produce section. For 1 second I thought I saw something. Recognition. Maybe even pity. Then he put his hand on her belly, whispered something in her ear, and they laughed. They turned away like I was nobody, just another stranger in the store. I left my basket right there and walked out. Sat in my car for an hour, sobbing. Not because I want him back. I know that's impossible. But because of how thoroughly he won. New wife, baby on the way. Promotion at work. Living in a penthouse downtown. Thriving, glowing, happy. While I'm drowning in debt, working minimum wage, taking the bus because my car got repossessed. He didn't just destroy my life. He used my destruction as a launching pad for a better one. That night I wrote him a letter. Not to send, just to get it out. 3 pages of apologies, regrets, acknowledgement of what I did. Then I realized something that broke me completely. He doesn't think about me at all. I'm consumed by what happened. By him, by that blank face, by the methodical destruction of my existence. It defines every moment of my life. But for him, I'm just a solved problem, a closed chapter, a lesson learned. Seeing me in Whole Foods was probably the first time he thought about me in months. That's when I took the pills. My roommate found me. Called 911. Stomach pumped. Psychiatric hold. Mandatory therapy. More debt I can't pay. The therapist here wants me to process my trauma. She doesn't get it. Yes, what he did was extreme. Maybe illegal. Definitely cruel. But I created the situation. I loaded the gun, cocked it, pointed it at my head and handed it to him. All he did was pull the trigger and he did it perfectly. No passion, no anger, no messy emotional confrontation. Just cold, calculated consequences delivered with surgical precision. He turned my cruelty into his justice, my games into his victory. Chapter 8: The Path Forward. 1 year later, this will be my last post. Not because I'm giving up, but because I need to stop reliving this and actually move forward. It's been a year of consequences, a year of pain, a year of growth I never wanted but desperately needed. I'm writing this from a different place. Not physically, I'm still in the same crappy studio, still working nights, still paying my garnishments, but mentally, emotionally, I'm somewhere new. The therapy helped. Not at first. At first, I just wanted to be the victim, to paint him as a monster, to pretend I didn't earn every single consequence. But eventually I had to face it. I destroyed my own life. He just made sure I couldn't escape the debris. I've accepted what I am, what I did, who I hurt. Not just him, God knows I hurt him worst, but his family, my family, those men who didn't know they were props in my game, everyone who trusted me. I've reached out to people I hurt. Most don't respond. The ones who do are cautious. Baby steps. I'll take what I can get. I volunteer now, ironically, at a support group for infidelity, not for cheaters, for the betrayed. I tell my story to rooms full of broken spouses. I watch their faces change from sympathy to horror. Good. Let them know what we're capable of. Let them know they're not crazy for being suspicious. Your intuition is usually right, I tell them. We get cocky. We make mistakes. We think you're stupid when really you're just hoping you're wrong. Some hate me for being there, fair. But others thank me for the insight, for confirming their suspicions aren't paranoia, for showing them the cheater's playbook. I still see him sometimes, not in person but on LinkedIn and company newsletters. He's thriving. His new baby is beautiful. His wife seems genuinely happy. Good for them. I mean that. Because here's what I learned in the deepest part of my personal hell. He could have become me. He could have cheated back, become cruel, let my betrayal turn him into something ugly. Instead, he channeled it into something else. Something calculated and cold, yes, but also something final, decisive, clean. He didn't drag it out, didn't torture me for years, didn't become a bitter, vengeful ex. He executed his plan, got his justice, and moved on completely. And that blank face that haunted me? I understand it now. It wasn't cruelty. It was closure. He'd already mourned our marriage, already processed the betrayal, already decided on consequences. By the time I was writhing in agony, he was already gone. Had been for months. He didn't destroy me in anger. He destroyed me as a practical matter. Like demolishing a condemned building. No emotion necessary. Just efficiency. I'm not grateful for what he did. It was extreme, maybe criminal, definitely cruel. But I'm grateful for what it taught me, that actions have consequences. That betrayal has a price. That some people keep score even when you think the game is secret. Most importantly, that the person I was needed to die for the person I could become to have a chance. She's not much yet, this new person. She makes $11 an hour. Lives in a roach-infested studio. Has no friends, no prospects, no hope of a normal life. But she's honest. She faces consequences instead of running. She helps others avoid her mistakes. It's not redemption. I'll never be redeemed. But it's something. Growth maybe, or just scar tissue. Either way, it's what I have. To anyone reading this thinking about cheating, don't. Not because of what happened to me. Most people won't marry someone capable of this level of revenge. But because you'll destroy the part of them that loved you. You'll kill something innocent. You'll turn love into logistics. And if you're very, very unlucky, you'll do it to someone who's better at the game than you are. Someone who will wait, who will watch, who will document every betrayal while smiling at you over breakfast, who'll let you feel safe in your sins right up until the moment he doesn't. Someone who will destroy you so completely that even he won't remember your name. My ex won't read this. He's blocked me on everything and I doubt he thinks about me enough to search. But if somehow he does, you won completely. I'm sorry for what I did, for what I turned you into, for what I turned us into. I hope your new life is everything our marriage wasn't. I hope your daughter grows up with a father I didn't completely kill, the one who could love without keeping score. But mostly, I hope I never see that blank face in another human being again because I put it there. And that's a guilt no amount of consequences can wash away.